Welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about mesh current analysis. The mesh current method, also known as loop current method. Mesh current analysis is usually employed to determine the unknown value of current in the given circuit. So, mesh current analysis problem can be solved by two different methods. Method 1, forming mesh equation by applying Kirchhoff's voltage law. So, what is Kirchhoff's voltage law? In a closed circuit, the algebraic sum of potential rise is equal to algebraic sum of potential drop. Method 2, forming mesh equation by inspection method. For solving mesh current analysis problem, we have to follow these are the steps. So the step 1, first we have to identify the number of meshes, that is number of loops, and we will be naming it. Method 2, for each mesh or a loop, we have to assign a current. The direction of current may be clockwise or anti-clockwise. Then we have to write mesh equations to all meshes. Then we have to solve those mesh equations in order to get the mesh current. So according to Kirchhoff's voltage law, that is how we are assigning the current for a particular loop. With respect to the assigned current, we have to calculate the potential rise and potential drop. This I have explained in my previous video. So let me see one problem, that is mesh analysis of circuit excited by independent sources. Here we have got two sources, that is 60 volt and 20 volt voltage sources. Both sources are independent. So independent means what? It will not, that is the value of this voltage source will not change, it is fixed value. This will not depends upon any other parameter in the circuit. So here we have got two independent sources. So how many meshes or loops are there in a given circuit? So there are three loops. That is, there are three loops in a given circuit. So this is loop 1. So for this loop, I am assigning a current. The current is in clockwise direction. I am naming it as I1 current. This is my second loop. So the direction of current is given like this. This is also assumed in clockwise direction. This is I2 current, and the third loop is like this. This is I3 current. So totally there are three unknowns: I1, I2, I3. These three current we have to find. So for this, I am going to take the first loop. I am taking the first loop. I am naming, that is labeling the mesh like this. GH. So first I am going to take the first loop, that is AB, G, H, A. That is my first loop, that is loop 1. So with respect to loop 1, the main current is I1 current. So I am now for the first loop we have to write the KVL. So what is KVL? In a closed loop, algebraic sum of potential rise and drop is equal to 0, or in a closed circuit, algebraic sum of potential drop is equal to algebraic sum of potential rise. So first I am starting with this 5 ohm resistor. Current is entering at positive terminal, leaving at negative terminal, which can be treated as drop in potential. So drop in potential means minus 5 into I1, that is resistance into current. So minus 5 I1. Then the I1 current is entering at positive terminal, leaving at negative terminal. In 3 ohm resistor, I1 as well as I2 current are flowing in 3 ohm resistor, but both the current are flowing in opposite direction, which means the current, net current in 3 ohm resistor, I1 minus I2 current. So that is also drop in potential, minus 3 of I1 minus I2. Then the current is entering at negative terminal of the battery and leaving at positive terminal of the battery. So plus 60 volt is equal to 0. Expanding this, we will get minus 5 I1, 3 I1 plus 3 I2 is equal to minus 60. This is minus 8 I1 plus 3i2 is equal to minus 60. So take this as a first equation. So similarly, we have to take, this is first loop, second loop, and third loop. So now I am starting from here, naming like this. So for second loop, that is loop 2, which is B, C, F, G, B. The main current is I2 current. So starting with here, the current is entering at positive terminal, leaving at negative terminal. So that is fall in potential, minus 2 into I2. Then coming to here, the current, I2 current is entering here, leaving at negative terminal, which is also fall in potential. So in 4 ohm, I2 current as well as I3 current, both are flowing in 4 ohm resistor, but the current are in opposite direction. So we can write it as minus of 4 I2 minus I3, minus of 4 of I2 minus I3. Then the I2 current is flowing in 3 ohm resistor, which is entering at here positive terminal, leaving at negative terminal. So in 3 ohm resistor also I2 as well as I1 current are flowing. Both are flowing in opposite direction. So this is also fall in potential, which can be written as minus 3 of I2 minus I1 is equal to 0. So solving this, we will get 3i1 minus 9i2 plus 4i3 is equal to 0. So this is equation 2. Then considering the third loop, loop 3, that is C, D, E, F, C. With respect to third loop, the main current is I3 current. So I am starting from here. The current I3 current is entering here, leaving at minus terminal. So that is fall in potential, which can be written as minus 6 I3. So then the current is entering at positive terminal, leaving at negative terminal, which is also fall in potential, minus 20. Then it is entering at 4 ohm resistor, entering at positive terminal, leaving at negative terminal, which is also fall in potential, that can be written as 4 of I3 as well as I2 current, which are flowing in 4 ohm resistor. So minus 4 of I3 minus I2, which is equal to 0. So simplifying this, we will get 4 I2 minus 10 I3, which is equal to 20. So that is my equation 3. Then we have to form a matrix. So the matrix will be in the form of resistance matrix into current matrix, that is equal to voltage matrix. For resistance matrix, first we have to write the coefficient of I1, the coefficient of I2, and the coefficient of I3 for the equation 1. Similarly, for equation 2, we have to write the coefficient of I1, coefficient of I2, I3. Similarly, for equation 3 means we will be getting the resistance matrix, the unknown current value I1, I2, I3 into the left hand side value, that is from first equation, that is the left hand side value is minus 60. For second equation it is 0, third equation it is 20. So minus 60, 0, 20. Like that we have to form the matrix. So this is the matrix which I have taken from 1 to 3. Combining these 3 equations, we will be getting this matrix. So once we have formed the matrix, means we have to calculate the value of del, that is determinant of this matrix. So the determinant of this matrix is minus 502. Then we have to calculate the del 1 value. So del 1 will be, how to calculate the del 1 value? For calculating the del 1 value, the first column must be replaced with this value. So the first column is replaced with this value. Then for del 2, we have to replace second column with help of this. For del 3, we have to replace the third column with this value. So then we'll be calculating the value I1, I2, I3. We have to calculate the value. That is, once we have calculated del 1, del 2, del 3, Then we'll be calculating the value of I1. So I1 is equal to del 1 by del. What is the value of del 1? Del 1 is 4 minus 4200 divided by del. Del is minus 502, which is 8.366 ampere. That is our I1 value. Similarly, I2 will be equal to del 2 by del. What is the value of del 2? 1000 minus 1160 divided by minus 502, which is equal to 2.31 amperes. That is our I2. Then I3 will be del 3 by del, which is equal to minus 1.07 amperes. For the given circuit, we have found three unknowns: I1, I2, I3 and I4. So next thing is we are going to take the same problem. We will be solving the same problem with the inspection method. In inspection method, we will not write mesh equations by using Kirchhoff's voltage law. Directly, we are going to use this. We'll be forming the matrix. How we will be forming the matrix? That is, first we will be forming the resistance matrix. Then we will be forming the current. The product of these two will be equal to voltage matrix. So regarding the resistance matrix, first we have to form the value of R11. So what is R11? The summation of resistance, that is the summation of individual resistance in the first loop. So the resistance which is present in the first loop, that is 5 ohm and 3 ohm, summation of these two will be equal to this. And R12. So what is R12? R12 is equal to the resistance which is common between first loop and second loop. So this is the 3 ohm resistance which is common between first and second loop, which is minus 3 ohm, which can be taken in negative sign. The resistance 1 R13, so which means the resistance which is common between first and third loop. So there is no resistance which is common between first and second loop. So I am going to substitute these values in the matrix. So I'll be getting this as a first row. Then R21. So the R21 will be equal to this. R21 will be equal to R12. So what is R12? R12 is minus 3 ohm. Then R22 means in the loop 2, summation of the resistance present in the loop 2, that is the individual resistance present in the loop 2, the summation of that will be considered as R22, which means the 2 ohm resistance, 4 ohm resistance and 3 ohm resistance. So 2 plus 4 plus 3, which means 9. So this is 9. Then R23, the resistance which is common between second and third loop. So this is the common resistance between second and third loop, which can be taken as minus. So minus 4 ohm. Then R31. So 31 is equal to 13. R31 is equal to 13. So this is 0. R32 is equal to 23. This is minus 4. Then R33. So R3 will be the individual resistance present, the summation of individual resistance present in the third loop. So which is 6 plus 4. The 6 ohm plus 4 ohm, which is equal to 10 ohm. So this is 10 ohm. Once we have formed the resistance matrix, so resistance matrix into current, these are the unknown I1, I2, I3. That value have to be found, which is equal to the voltage matrix. So regarding the voltage, so what is the voltage which is present in the first loop? So the first loop with respect to this current sign, that is minus, entering here, entering at minus terminal, leaving at positive terminal. So this will be plus 60 volt. Plus 60 volt. So in second loop there is no voltage source, which can be taken as 0. In the third loop, according to the current direction, the current is entering at positive terminal, leaving at negative terminal. So this is minus 20. So solving this, that is after forming the matrix, we have to find the value of del 1, del 2, del 3. Once we know the value of del 1, del 2, del 3 and del, we can easily able to calculate the value of I1, I2, I3. So I1 is equal to del 1 by del, I2 is equal to del 2 by del, and I3 will be equal to del 3 by del. So we will be getting the same value for I1. So I1 is equal to 8.3 0.66 amperes and I2 is equal to 2.31 amperes and I3 will be equal to minus 1.07 amperes. So what is the meaning for this negative sign? So which means that actually we have assumed the current direction for all the loop in clockwise, but the original current direction for I3 current, it is in anti-clockwise direction, so that only we are getting a negative sign. So in this lecture, we have discussed about mesh current analysis. So mesh current analysis by Kirchhoff's voltage law method and inspection method. Hope you understood all the concept. Thank you.